If a luthier says, this guitar is good because I made it, then that has zero value. It's the same like if my mother is talking to someone there outside and say, oh, you know what, my son is the greatest player of the world. Right? That has zero authority. The person less qualified to say if a guitar is good or not is the guitar makers, the luthiers. Why? Because they don't play it. Just it's a very simple reason. It's a laughable argument. In fact, if you analyze it, how if they don't play guitar and if they don't play at this level, at the level we are playing here, if they don't play at the level I play, how they will know if it's comfortable or easy to play for me? They cannot say it. It's me who have to say if it's comfortable, not them. They will not define also what sound is, because sound comes from playability. Sound of the guitar doesn't come from the guitar. It comes through the guitar. Sound of the guitar comes from you, through the guitar. And how it comes, the sound, how is possible that? Because playability is the main thing. Once the guitar is playable, then you play well, and then that's the sound of the guitar. So unless playability is there, there is no such good sound. If a guitar sounds good and is difficult to play, or hard or high action or something, how I will sound well there? It doesn't matter. It sounds good means zero. So that's the Luthiers' business, because they always, and this is why there is this hate-love with them all the time, because they want to make one thing, that is their idea of what is desirable, what they want to do by saving money on the raw materials, etc., and this kind of things, right? So they're not thinking about playability. How they will think of playability? Because someone said, that's another, again, this parroting business. You cannot say, well, many people say it's good. Then that's also value zero value, because that's the majority consent, which doesn't mean one thing. Here the only thing what is meaningful is how you feel with it. And therefore, guitar players are the only ones who can decide if a guitar is good or not the luthiers. The luthier cannot say one thing about it. I tell you this. Luthiers have no authority and no grounds to define what is a good sound or what's playability, because they don't play. That's the very reason why. It's just a logic thing. It doesn't mean one sense, this thing, what they are saying. Right? If a luthier says this guitar is not good, how do you know? Do you play? No. Then how you say this sounds good? Sounds come out of playability. Now how do you tell me this guitar is playable? That's why I love these people, AG, because they make guitars all the time. And in fact, my preceptor appointed me to give feedback on this playability aspect for more than 10 years. And I feel proud of this engagement and of this the responsibility of what he is making me do, right? To check playability is such a thing, because you have to be constantly revisiting and checking stuff and correcting things and improving constantly. And I don't see any other luthiers improving anything every time. They do the same thing with the same materials of the same, so much so that they don't even know they are doing the same. You can save face by saying this is the tradition, that's how everyone does. Yeah, but that doesn't mean one thing to me or to him or to you probably, right? So you have to see yourself what is playable for you. And then even if you, however great it is, or others' opinion, players or anyone, saying something, and many players are also acclimatized to obsolete guitars, and good players, and those are, some of them are my friends also, so there is no problem here. I don't want to offend anyone, but you are asking me this thing, and this is a very clear thing, that the only person who can say if a guitar is good or not is the one who plays it, right? It's you. It's not the luthier, it's the less person, it's the less authorized, the less authoritative person to give a statement about it, because he don't play, and he don't play what we will play at the level we will play. Therefore, it's different. One thing is a normal car, and another thing is a race car for the Formula 1 thing. That's another type of car. So that's this thing. Right? It's very different. Therefore, that's why in the past we have to keep getting. 20 years ago when I was young, I also did that. I will post the description of the video because I explain in detail this thing. We went to buy a guitar and it has a bunch of defects that we have to fix, and we took for granted that that's the way it is. Well, guess what? That's not the way it is. Because it's possible that there exists some guitar, some model just like this one, for example, which is perfectly playable from day one. Why I have to fix this, refret it, put that, take off the varnish? Why? But that's the way it was before AG was there, right? When AG wasn't there, then that's the only option, and then of course if that's your only option, what you are choosing out of limitation, not out of opulence or plenty of choices there. So if your choice is made out of limitations and of these restrictions, that there is no other option, then what's your choice? You are really not choosing anything, you are doing the same. Because two guitars that have same flow, suppose you say this brand and this brand, and then both has flaws on the bridge, distance, uneven distance. Then what's you choosing from this brand or that? You are not choosing anything. This is the same. It's the same flow. Guitar with flaws, both. And it has the same thing, the same Ebony fretboard, the same stuff, the same bent top, the same lack of tuning capacity, etc. So I don't see any choice there. Choice means that you choose between one thing and another which is different, not of two of the same with a different name. So that argument is not really intelligent, right? And therefore, the person who is less capable and who is less appointed to say anything is the makers, because in the history of Spanish guitar making, in the golden age of guitar making, Barbero, Santos, those, they didn't play one chord. So how they always rely on other players to give feedback, but that feedback may be poor. That's another thing, right? Just because many people play Cypress guitars, this doesn't mean zero. That doesn't mean this is the only way to go, right? It's just a logic thing. Just think about it, and then draw your own conclusion, and don't let yourself be influenced by this thing, because it's very clear what we are saying, that you have to get experience you. Doesn't matter what I said, what Paco said, what the other people said. You have to feel you. You sit there and have your own experience, play the guitar, and then you say, yeah, I like this, this is playable for me. And then that's it. The luthier has zero to say here. Luthiers have no authority to say anything about sound or playability, because they don't play. Okay, hope this helped you. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.